Hello everyone, welcome to another strategic template video thing that we do for the multi-day ladder. Today with me I have Master of the Dead, which is the creator of the multi-day ladder, so everyone rejoice, say yay, yay. Today we will be going over French Brawl, that amazing template that I so much hate. And Master of the Dead apparently loves. So Master of the Dead, for the people who are not aware of French Brawl, how does it differ from the normal strategic template? So specifically on the settings.
Okay, so this template which you hate was actually made by me as well, so you have more reason to hate me. So what's different about this template is basically, firstly, you have 6 picks, which is more than what most templates have. So since you have 6 picks and you have 2 players, you need to make at least 12 picks to not get a fizzer pick on this template. Also, you have really low starting armies, so you get only 3 starting armies per territory, and the base income is also pretty low, which is just 4 armies. So it's a very brawly kind of game, which is why it has the name French Brawl.
Yeah.
Another different feature of this template is that it features light fog, which is something you don't see too often. So light fog is basically a setting where you
see
do not
where your
know.
opponent is.
Yeah. So you do not know what how many armies your opponent has on each territory, but you always see all of their territories, and
you know
you
their
only see
income at least.
Yes, you know their income, and also so you also know how many armies they have on all of the territories of theirs which are adjacent to yours. But if you have a territory of theirs which is not adjacent to yours, you just know that they have that territory, but you don't know that how many armies they have there. But having said that, since it's a really low income game, and you can always calculate what your opponent is up to if you just observe light fog. Another cool feature of light fog, which a lot of people are not aware of, is that you can see the picks of your opponent after they've been made. As in, when I say you can see them, you can see the order in which people make picks after the first turn advances. Because usually in a normal game, you can't see your opponent's picks until the game ends. Whereas here in light fog, you can see what your opponent picked and in which order, which sometimes can be important because it can give you a clue about what was their thought process when they were picking, and maybe that gives you an idea of how they're going to expand and stuff like that. Another unique feature of the template is that it has extra armies per territory, which is another setting which is not that common. Basically what that means is for every extra 2 territories which you have, you get 1 income from that itself as well.
So you should expand like hell instead of doing big stacks.
So it rewards expansion and an aggressive play style as opposed to just stacking up and roaming around with a stack basically.
Okay,
so you can think of
strategy.
this. Yeah, sure. So you can think of the extra armies per territory as similar to reinforcement cards, where it's encouraging expansion. For picks, usually the key fighting areas are the 1 bonus in the south, which is Limousine. There's another 1 bonus in the northeast, the green 1 bonus in the northeast,
awesome.
And and you have 2 1 bonuses in the northish, central north. So basically 1 bonuses are good if you have a support pick with that 1 bonus, because you just need to deploy 1 army on each warlord of yours, and you can just take a 1 bonus which gives you immediate income, which can be good for brawls. Another thing about this map is the 3 bonus in the northwest. That is usually very OP if you have a combo pick on it, because you can take 2 territories on the first turn, and then you can follow it up with the whole bonus, the 3 bonus itself, with 4 more deploy, and after that it's really hard to break because of lack of double borders on that bonus.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. And other things which you should look for when you're picking are FTBs. So obviously the 1 bonuses are the most likely FTBs because they require the least amount of picks. Another thing which you can get a first turn bonus on is any 2 bonus which has a triple pick around it. So like since you have 6 picks, you can afford to triple pick around things, and any 2 bonus, if you get a triple pick on that 2 bonus, you just need to deploy 3 armies and you get like the entire 2 bonus on the first turn,
On this
which can
layout, you
be
only have Auvergne, which is the brown one in the middle, or in the
yes.
bottom
Actually,
center.
you can't take that either, right?
Yeah, you can't.
Because
You can't. There is no access to
15 is
Canton.
not accessible.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I mean, on this board, it's not like there's no 2 bonus, which is an FTB, but like usually those are things which you should look out for. The south is usually like really large bonuses, which you should like. I mean, there are strategies where you can win again, like playing with the south if you have like all of the southern picks and just 1 pick in the north to spoil your opponent's income. But
It's
it's
very risky.
slow to get your first bonus, and you just need to stay in the game. As long as you can stay in the game, that is also an option. But so one of the popular strategies to counter the southern like spam strategy is to really prioritize limousine in the center, the 1 bonus, because
Yeah.
if you have that, you can really disrupt the south as well. So that's a good
Yeah,
strategy
if
as
you
well.
have 1, 2 there and the rest in the north, you have pretty much coverage of the whole map.
Yep.
It's just a matter of getting your combos or not. So my main problem when I'm playing French Brawl is usually if I lose my first pick or my 2 and 3rd pick, it
hmm
disrupts my whole game. So are we supposed to cluster pick? Are we supposed to...
So this is like one of those so one of the good things about like having a lot of picks is it it stops people from just using the memorized combos which they have, like on a stratum mme game you would just like people usually don't understand how combos work, and instead they just go for like if I can get like my 4 and 5 is countered by my 6, but why is it always countered by your 6? People like usually don't follow through on the logic behind that. And so like on this board picking, I usually pick along the lines of what is the most crucial first pick on the board, and that's something which I go for.
And
And
that's
then
usually
my
position, right?
it can be position, it can be income, it can be like an FTB, so it depends on the board. But after that I follow it up with, if I lose my first pick, which are the 2 picks which I really want to have, or I want to deny my opponent, so that I can either get some similar position or like an FTB as a result. So like if you think about it from the point of view that I will get 1 pick and then my opponent gets 2 picks and then I get 2 picks, and like accordingly you just like basically try to maximize your profits in terms of like position or income as you make your every batch of 2 picks. It usually works out well. And obviously, key things to watch out for are denying FTBs, which are like 2 bonuses with triple picks or a 1 bonus with a double pick, and always watching out for the 3 bonus in the Northwest, the TAN.
Okay, maybe we should go through the example. For example, in Unta's picks, do you think these picks make sense? He tries to cluster in the north, a +1 in Picardy. Then he tries to get position in the center with a 4 and a 5. And then he goes for the first turn bonus in Alsace. Would this be the usual
So
picking
um,
strategy?
I can see like 1 and 2 being fine, because that's a good double pick to make, because it's hard to counter that, because if you try to counter
Yeah, the
the
other ones
green
have
1 bonus.
wastelands. Yeah.
Yeah, but if you try to counter the green 1 bonus, I can instead take Picardy, and if you try to counter Picardy, I can take the other bonus. So it's really hard. So that's a good double pick to make. But after that, I wouldn't pick the third pick in Nord Pas de Calais, because if I'm missing my 1, I'm going to get my 2 and 3, right? And
Yeah.
if I get my 2 and 3 and my opponent has my 1, I have a really sucky exchange, because I can't take any bonus and he's bang in the middle of everything, and like I'm in trouble. So I would prioritize limousine in the south,
Yeah.
the 1 bonus, before I pick Nord Pas de Calais anytime soon, because it's not really crucial to that area. So I would quickly go down to limousine and like either have 3-4 there, or maybe even 2-3 there, and then come back to Normandy.
Okay, but the rest
And
seems okay. The first turn bonus in Alsace,
yeah,
the coverage in the +3 in Bretagne. Maybe you could change the order, it depends on your priorities, but overall they seem pretty decent picks. Okay, so once you get your picks, I'm gonna just skip to turn 1 because I think this is important. Like, you have this usually a clusterfuck of picks. You
Yeah.
don't get your combos. You're completely countered. So are you supposed to try to clean up space
So after
where you
that,
want to
like,
expand?
okay,
What's the
so let's
logic?
take this game as example, right? I think, like, so if you look at the picks, Hunter is already pretty screwed here because Britann is a really OP like second turn bonus, which once your opponent gets, you can't really touch them at all. Like, that bonus you cannot break at all. So if I was Ninwen after picks, my strategy would be really straightforward. Like, I just need to get Britann on turn 2, right? And to do that, I need 2 armies on turn 1 and I need 4 armies on turn 2. So I just need to hold out in 76 in Haute Normandy, and I can easily complete Britann on turn 2, and I may lose Haute Normandy on turn 2, but it's fine because I can reach that place from
Well,
my
but
3
if
bonus.
Unta tries to clean you up from the south, he will be able to do that because you will need to invest heavily on turn 2 to finish Bretagne. So if he wipes you out
Yes,
this turn in Allier, he can very easily wipe you out to the next turn in Cruz and get the whole south for himself.
but if it's the south is not that far away if you think about it, because in 2 turns
Yeah,
Britain
you
can
can
be
be there.
in the south, so it's not really that far away. But yes, and also it's important to note who has first move here, because if Ninwen has first move, you can't even eliminate the south, because on first move he's going to move Limousine into Alier, and after that he has 5 defenders which cannot be taken by 6 attackers, which is the maximum Junta can have. And so the south is protected and the northwest is protected, and after that it's like pretty much game over right there.
And
So from
since this is light fog and cyclic order, you know at turn 1 if you have first order or not from the
well,
picks that
in
you
most
got.
cases you do. Sometimes you don't know the move order if your 6 picks are very different from your opponent, but here I don't think that is the case, so they should know who has first.
Okay, for those who don't know, if you don't get your first pick, then you get your first order. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
And how to determine who has first pick is also sometimes it can be really easy. Like, for example, if both of you make the same first pick and one of them gets it, obviously that guy got first pick. But sometimes it can be a little bit more tricky, and you have to do, like, combinations where, like, here you see that Junta has 1, and he then makes a 2-3, right? And Ninwen makes, he gets his, so he misses his 2 and 4, right? And Junta gets his 1, 3, and 5. So since the
It's
three,
not trivial. You usually have to
yeah,
wait
it's
one
definitely
turn to
not trivial.
figure
So
out.
yeah,
Is or does it get like on multi-day games? Sometimes you have this question mark on the left side where if you hover your mouse there, it tells you the order.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So I think here, so this is how I would go about finding the move order, right? So if Ninwen was first, right, he would get his first pick. Junta would get his first and third pick, and then Ninwen should get his third and fourth pick, which is the red 3 bonus in the south. But Ninwen doesn't get his fourth pick, which means Hunter is actually first. And now if you work it the other way around, if Hunter is first, he gets his first pick, Ninwen gets his first and third pick, and then Junta gets his third and fifth pick.
okay.
If that was
So
easier for
homework for all you guys watching the video.
Yeah,
You should
basically you can figure
practice
out the move
this.
order in some cases, and it can be tricky, but sometimes it's trivial, and that kind of information is useful because you can obviously make use of it. Like, for example, here Ninwin knows he has first move, so he knows he has a guaranteed defense of Alier because he can move his 2 armies in, and he can't get eliminated in the south, he can't get eliminated in the north, and he's pretty much won the game on picks itself.
Okay, I think that's it. Is there any particular thing extra you would like to say about this game? There are no cards, in case you haven't
Yeah. So there are no cards,
noticed
but
yet.
obviously expansion is key. So you should never really sit around with stacks.
Yeah.
And another good thing to like brush up on before you play this template is efficient attack and defense. And like people have published guides about it and stuff. You should probably read that on the strategy forum if you haven't seen that. But basically, defending with the right amount of armies and attacking with the right amount of armies can really give you an edge on this template, which is kind of nice.
Okay, thank you very much, Master of the Dead. Guys, if you have any questions about the French Brawl or the template itself, just post either on YouTube channel on the YouTube video link comment section or on the forum thread that we will create about this. And that's it. Happy French Brawling. See you next video. Take care.